Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like you're aging faster than you should? Or worried that the simple, daily habits you've trusted for years might actually be the very things holding you back from a long, healthy life? We all want to believe we're doing the right thing for our bodies. But what if I told you that the healthy fruit smoothie you had this morning could be aging your cells faster than smoking 15 cigarettes a day? It sounds shocking, I know. But for millions of Americans, it's a hidden reality, a quiet epidemic that's stealing our golden years. But there is hope. A 98-year-old doctor, after treating over 10,000 patients, has uncovered the truth. His name is Dr. Arthur Jensen. And what he found isn't about adding more pills or complicated exercises to your life. It's much simpler. It's about eliminating 5 hidden longevity killers. He saw this truth with his own eyes, in patients like Michael, a 72-year-old retired banker, who was unknowingly poisoning himself every single morning with his supposedly healthy breakfast, feeling tired and foggy and old for years. That's why I made this video. We are going to walk through each of these 5 hidden dangers, one by one. More importantly, I'll share Dr. Jensen's simple, free, and powerful solutions. Solutions you can start using the moment this video ends. Everything I'm sharing is based on Dr. Jensen's decades of real-world clinical observation, distilled into simple wisdom that anyone can follow. And I urge you, please, make sure you stay until the very end. The 5th secret has nothing to do with food or exercise, but it's the one Dr. Jensen says is the most powerful predictor of whether someone lives to be 100. Understanding it could literally save your life, or the life of someone you love. Before we dive in, I truly want to know, if that feeling of being unfairly aged by time sounds familiar to you, please just comment a simple yes below. It helps me know you're here, and it shows others in our community that they are not alone in this feeling. Okay, let's begin. Alright, let's get into the first of the 5 longevity killers that Dr. Jensen urges us to eliminate. Now, this first one might come as a shock to you, because it hides in plain sight, right on our breakfast tables. Number 1. The morning blood sugar spike. The biggest longevity killer isn't just sugar in general. It's the massive, sharp spike in blood sugar that most of us create before 9 o'clock in the morning. And the culprits are often the very foods we believe are the healthiest. Things like fruit smoothies, oatmeal with raisins, whole grain cereals, and even yogurt with granola. For decades, we've been told these are the perfect way to start the day. But Dr. Jensen discovered that for our aging bodies, this morning ritual is like pouring gasoline on a fire. Here's the simple science behind it. When you consume these high-carb foods first thing in the morning, your blood gets flooded with sugar. This forces your body to release a huge wave of insulin to manage it all. Dr. Jensen describes this process as a slow, simmering fire inside your body. It's a wave of inflammation that silently damages your blood vessels, clouds your thinking, and over time, accelerates the aging of every single organ, especially your brain. Now you might be thinking, but I've been eating oatmeal for 50 years. And that's the crucial point. The core reason this becomes so dangerous as we age is that our bodies, well, they just aren't as resilient as they used to be. Our cells become less sensitive to insulin, making it much harder to manage these sugar spikes. What our bodies could handle with ease at age 30 becomes a significant source of daily damage at age 70. And the symptoms of this morning spike are things that so many of us just accept as a normal part of getting older. Do you ever feel a burst of energy right after breakfast, only to be hit with a wave of fatigue a couple of hours later? That's the crash. Do you struggle with that nagging brain fog in the afternoon, where you can't quite think clearly? Or how about that stubborn belly fat that just won't seem to go away, no matter what you do? These aren't just random signs of aging. Dr. Jensen saw, time and time again, that they are the direct results of this inflammatory morning habit. The scientific proof is startling. Research has shown that people who have these frequent glucose spikes have telomeres that are up to 15% shorter. Telomeres are the little protective caps on the ends of our DNA. You can think of them like the plastic tips on a shoelace. When they get shorter, our DNA starts to fray, and our bodies age much, much faster. This brings me to the story of Michael, the 72-year-old retired banker I mentioned earlier. Michael was a man who did everything right. He exercised, he didn't smoke, and every single morning for 20 years, he made himself a healthy smoothie with a banana, berries, and a little honey. He thought he was doing the best thing for his heart. Yet, he was constantly tired, his mind felt cloudy, and he just didn't have the zest for life he used to. When Dr. Jensen analyzed his diet, he realized Michael was starting his day with over 40 grams of sugar. It was a sugar bomb disguised as health food. Dr. Jensen had him make one simple change. Just one. He told him to stop the smoothie. The solution was to eliminate all fruits, grains, and sugary dairy before noon. Instead, Dr. Jensen had him start his day with protein and healthy fats. Things like 2 or 3 eggs cooked in olive oil, or a sliced avocado with a handful of walnuts. Foods that provide steady, sustained energy without the inflammatory spike. Within 6 weeks, Michael's transformation was remarkable. He told Dr. Jensen, "Doc, it's like a fog has been lifted from my mind. I have more energy now than I did 10 years ago." His doctors were amazed by his improved health markers. Now, this doesn't mean that oatmeal or fruit are bad foods. They aren't. They have their place. But the timing is everything. For an aging body, they are simply not the right choice to break your overnight fast. So, here is the call to action. Stop aging your body before your day has even truly begun. For 1 week, try starting your day with protein and fat instead of carbohydrates. It's a simple, free change that could have a profound impact. Was this a surprise to you? If you're shocked to learn that these healthy breakfast foods could actually be harmful in the morning, please take a moment and comment surprise below. It helps to see how many of us have been following the same advice. Alright, that brings us to the second hidden longevity killer that Dr. Jensen warned his patients about. This one is incredibly common, and most of us are completely unaware we're even doing it, because the primary warning sign, our own sense of thirst, becomes less reliable as we age. Number 2. Chronic dehydration. Dr. Jensen called this the silent epidemic. He believed that the majority of people over 60 are living in a constant, low-level state of dehydration. It's not the kind of severe dehydration that lands you in the hospital. It's a slow, quiet, cellular thirst that, day after day, accelerates every single process of aging within the body. You see, water is not just for quenching thirst, it's the medium for life itself. It transports nutrients into your cells, and just as importantly, it carries toxic waste products out. When your cells are even slightly thirsty, every process in your body gets sluggish. Think of it like trying to run a complex factory with low water pressure. The machinery slows down, waste piles up in the corners, and everything just becomes less efficient. That's what's happening inside your body. The core reason this becomes so critical as we get older is that our bodies have less margin for error. Our kidneys become less efficient at conserving water, and our ability to even detect thirst diminishes significantly. So, while we need proper hydration more than ever to keep our systems running smoothly, our internal warning system is starting to fail us. And the symptoms of this silent epidemic are the very things we often blame on just getting older. That persistent, nagging fatigue that seems to follow you around all day. Those constant, dull headaches that you can't quite explain. Those aching joints that feel stiff and sore, especially in the morning. Dr. Jensen explained to his patients that these are often not signs of old age, but rather direct signs of a body that is chronically thirsty at a cellular level. Your skin gets drier and loses its elasticity, your joints lose their natural lubrication, and your mind gets foggier simply because there isn't enough water to keep everything running as it should. The scientific evidence is undeniable. Studies have shown that even a tiny 2% drop in your body's hydration levels can reduce your cognitive function, your ability to think clearly and focus, by over 20%. Imagine that. Your brain function can be significantly impaired just from being a little bit dehydrated. This reminds me of a patient of Dr. Jensen's named Carol, a 69-year-old retired teacher. Carol was a wonderful woman, but she was plagued by constant fatigue, stiff joints, and frequent headaches. She told Dr. Jensen, "I guess this is just what being almost 70 feels like." She was drinking coffee in the morning, a glass of iced tea with lunch, and maybe a glass of water with dinner. She never felt particularly thirsty. She had no idea she was living in a state of chronic dehydration. Dr. Jensen put her on a very simple protocol. He told her to start each day with a large, 16-ounce glass of water with a tiny pinch of sea salt and a squeeze of fresh lemon juice. The salt and lemon help your body actually absorb the water into your cells more effectively. Then, he instructed her to sip 4 to 6 ounces of water every hour throughout the day, rather than chugging a large amount all at once. This steady intake keeps the cells consistently hydrated. The results were astonishing. Within just 3 weeks, Carol's joint pain had virtually disappeared. Her energy levels doubled, and her headaches vanished. She felt more vibrant and alive than she had in years. So, let's start giving our bodies the most basic, essential fuel they need to thrive. Forget expensive supplements for a moment, and focus on this simple, free, and profoundly powerful habit. I want you to be honest with yourself. Are you drinking enough water? If you promise to try this simple hydration trick for just 1 week, comment hydrate below. Let's make this commitment together. Now, the third longevity killer is one we all know about in our minds, but Dr. Jensen believed we dramatically underestimate its devastating physical damage. It's an invisible force that can age you faster than almost anything else. Number 3. Chronic stress. I'm not talking about the acute stress of a deadline or a difficult conversation. A little bit of that can actually be good for us. I'm talking about the modern condition of chronic stress. That constant, low-level hum of worry, anxiety, and tension that so many of us live with every single day. It's the worry about finances, the news on television, and the health of our loved ones. Dr. Jensen found this constant state of emotional pressure to be the most powerful aging accelerator of all. Here's what's happening inside your body. This constant stress keeps your body stuck in emergency mode, or fight or flight. It continuously pumps out the stress hormone, cortisol. In the short term, cortisol is a lifesaver. But when it's elevated day after day, it becomes a poison. It breaks down healthy muscle tissue, it tells your body to store fat right around your belly, it disrupts your sleep, and over time, it literally shrinks the memory center of your brain. The reason this is so uniquely destructive as we age is that this emergency state completely shuts down your body's programs for repair, regeneration, and long-term maintenance. Your body cannot heal and rebuild itself if it thinks it's constantly running from a threat. All its resources are diverted to short-term survival. So, while your cells are crying out for repair, your body's own chemistry is preventing that healing from ever taking place. It's a vicious cycle that grinds you down from the inside out. The symptoms are all too familiar. It's that inability to get a truly deep, restorative night's sleep. It's that high blood pressure that your doctor is always concerned about. It's that feeling of being constantly on edge, where the smallest thing can set you off. These are the classic signs of a nervous system that is trapped in a state of chronic stress, a state that is fundamentally incompatible with a long and healthy life. The science on this is chilling. Researchers have discovered that people living under chronic stress have telomeres, those protective caps on our DNA, that are shortened by the equivalent of 10 to 15 years of biological aging. This means a 65-year-old living with high stress could have the cellular age of someone who is nearly 80. Dr. Jensen often told the story of Robert, a 74-year-old retired executive. Robert had been successful his whole life, a real go-getter. But he carried decades of work stress with him into his retirement. Despite being physically active, he looked tired and much older than his age. He suffered from terrible insomnia and lived with a persistent anxiety about his health and his investments. He was a textbook case of a man whose mind was aging his body. Dr. Jensen's prescription for Robert had nothing to do with medication. It was about eliminating the patterns of stress. He gave him what he called his reset protocol. Every 2 hours, without fail, Robert was to stop whatever he was doing and take 60 seconds to breathe deeply and consciously relax the muscles in his jaw, his shoulders, and his face. He also had Robert stop watching the news first thing in the morning and last thing at night to protect his mind from the constant influx of negativity. Within a few months, the change was profound. Robert started sleeping through the night. His energy returned. But the most incredible part was looking at him. The deep lines of worry on his face seemed to soften. He simply looked younger, more at peace. You have the power to break this cycle. You have the power to protect your peace. It begins with the conscious choice to step out of that state of emergency. What is your biggest source of stress? If you feel comfortable, share just one word in the comments below. Let's simply acknowledge it together, without judgment. And that leads us to longevity killer number 4. This is a habit that seems so innocent, so normal in our culture, that many of us do it every single night without a second thought. But according to Dr. Jensen, this single act effectively sabotages your body's entire nightly repair crew. Number 4. Late night eating. I'm talking about eating anything within 3 to 4 hours of going to bed. It could be a late dinner, a bowl of ice cream while watching TV, or even a healthy snack like a handful of nuts or a piece of fruit before you turn in for the night. It seems harmless. But what's happening on a cellular level is a quiet disaster for longevity. Here's the science made simple. During deep sleep, your body is supposed to be doing its most important maintenance work. This includes a critical process called autophagy, which is basically your body's cellular cleanup crew. This crew goes around and gets rid of old, damaged, dysfunctional cells, the kind of cells that can eventually lead to disease and accelerated aging. This process is one of the most powerful anti-aging mechanisms your body has. But it can only happen when you are in a fasted state. When you eat late at night, you force your body to make a choice. It can either focus on digesting the food you just ate or on cellular repair. Digestion, for immediate survival, always wins. The result is that the cleanup crew, the autophagy process, never gets called in for duty. The cellular trash is left to pile up, night after night, year after year. This becomes increasingly damaging as we get older because our digestive systems are already slowing down, and our bodies are producing more damaged cells that need to be cleared out. So, at the very time in our lives when we need this nightly cleanup process the most, our late-night eating habits are effectively shutting it down completely. The symptoms are things we often just shrug off. Do you struggle with poor sleep, waking up frequently during the night? Do you feel groggy and sluggish in the morning, even after 8 hours in bed? Do you find it incredibly difficult to manage your weight, even when you feel like you're eating healthy foods? These are all classic signs that your body's natural overnight rhythms are being disrupted by late-night eating. It keeps your insulin and blood sugar elevated when they should be at their lowest, and it disrupts the release of crucial anti-aging hormones, like human growth hormone, which is essential for tissue repair. This was the exact situation for one of Dr. Jensen's patients, a lovely 71-year-old retired nurse named Susan. As a nurse, she knew all about healthy eating. But she had a lifelong habit of eating dinner around 8 p.m. and then having a small bowl of yogurt or some crackers before bed around 10 o'clock. She was struggling with her weight, slept poorly, and her morning energy was non-existent. Dr. Jensen gave her one simple, powerful instruction. He called it the kitchen is closed rule. She was to finish all of her eating for the day by 6 p.m., and then consume nothing but water or herbal tea until the next morning. She didn't change what she ate, only when. The results were life-changing. In the first 2 months, she lost 15 pounds effortlessly. She started sleeping through the night for the first time in years, and she woke up feeling refreshed and full of energy. She gave her body the gift of a 12 to 14-hour fasting window every single night, and her body responded by finally being able to do its repair work. So, the action is simple. Give your body the time it needs to heal itself. Implement the kitchen is closed rule in your own home. Finish eating 3 to 4 hours before your bedtime. Brush your teeth right after your last meal to send a powerful signal to your brain that eating for the day is done. Is late-night eating a habit for you? There's no judgment here. Just a simple awareness. Take a moment and comment a simple yes or no below. And now, we arrive at the 5th and final longevity killer. In all his years of practice, Dr. Jensen said this was his most surprising, and ultimately, his most profound discovery. It's a factor that has nothing to do with diet, exercise, or the pills in your medicine cabinet. Yet, he found that it kills faster and more reliably than smoking, obesity, or a sedentary lifestyle. It is the ultimate destroyer of a long and healthy life. Number 5. Social isolation. I'm talking about loneliness. Not just the act of being alone, but the internal feeling of being disconnected from others. As he studied the lives of centenarians around the world, from the mountains of Italy to the islands of Japan, Dr. Jensen saw one unifying thread. They were all deeply embedded in a community. They had strong, meaningful social bonds. He came to believe that these connections are not just a nice thing to have, they are a biological necessity. Let's look at the science of what loneliness does to your body. When you feel chronically lonely or isolated, Your body perceives it as a profound threat, just as dangerous as being stalked by a predator. This triggers a constant, low-grade fight-or-flight response. Your stress hormones, like cortisol, remain chronically elevated. This, in turn, creates a state of chronic inflammation throughout your entire body. It's the same destructive, simmering fire we talked about with blood sugar, but this fire is lit by a lack of human connection. It makes your immune system overactive yet ineffective, leaving you more vulnerable to illness. The reason this becomes a life-or-death issue as we get older is because our social worlds naturally begin to shrink. We retire from our jobs, our children grow up and move away, and tragically, we begin to lose spouses and dear friends. The opportunities for casual, daily connection diminish, and if we are not proactive, isolation can creep in and become our new normal. We can easily fall into the trap of thinking, "I don't want to be a burden," or "I'm just too tired to go out." But Dr. Jensen saw this mindset as a self-fulfilling prophecy that literally paves the way for disease and decline. The symptoms of this disconnection are both emotional and physical. It's that feeling of depression or a low mood that you can't seem to shake. It's a noticeable decline in your mental sharpness or memory. And it's a higher risk of nearly every major chronic disease, from heart disease to dementia. Loneliness doesn't just break your heart, it breaks down your body. The statistics on this are absolutely staggering, and they should be a wake-up call for all of us. Landmark studies have shown that social isolation increases the risk of premature death by up to 50%. Let me say that again. 50%. The researchers concluded this was the same health impact as smoking 15 cigarettes every single day. Lonely people have a 29% higher risk of heart disease and a 32% higher risk of stroke. Their brains physically age faster. I will never forget the story Dr. Jensen told me about a patient of his named Thomas, a 76-year-old widower. Thomas had lost his beloved wife of 50 years, and in his grief, he had completely withdrawn from the world. He stopped going to his weekly coffee group, he declined invitations from friends, and he spent most of his days alone in the house he had shared with her. Despite being in good physical health, within 2 years, he looked like a different man. He was frail, his cognitive function had noticeably declined, and the light in his eyes was gone. He was fading away in his loneliness. His daughter, deeply concerned, finally convinced him to join a local volunteer group that repaired old furniture for families in need. He was a skilled woodworker, and at first, he went reluctantly. But then, something amazing happened. In the workshop, surrounded by the sounds of saws and sanding, sharing stories and laughter with other men, he found a renewed sense of purpose. He found connection. Within 6 months, Thomas was transformed. His mental sharpness returned, his mood lifted dramatically, and he regained the vitality he had lost. He came back to life. So please, hear this. Stop accepting isolation as a normal or inevitable part of aging. It is not. The most powerful action you can take for your longevity is to nurture your connections. Dr. Jensen's connection protocol was simple. Have at least one meaningful social interaction every single day. It doesn't have to be a big party. It can be a phone call with a friend, a visit with a neighbor, joining a book club, a church group, or a walking club. Quality is far more important than quantity. One genuine, heartfelt conversation can be enough to turn off that dangerous inflammation response. If you believe in the profound, life-giving power of human connection, please take a moment to comment together below. It's a way to show your support for everyone in this community, and to remind ourselves that we are truly all in this journey, together. So, we come full circle. We started this journey with the stories of Michael, who felt foggy and tired from his healthy breakfast. Carol, who thought her aching joints were just a part of getting older. Robert, who was being aged by the invisible weight of worry. Susan, whose late-night snacks were robbing her of restorative sleep. And Thomas, who was fading away in the silence of loneliness. They weren't superhuman. They were just like you and me. Good people, trapped in common habits that were silently aging them, stealing their vitality day by day. By making these simple, almost effortless eliminations, they didn't just add years to their life. They added life back into their years. They replaced fatigue with energy, fogginess with clarity, and loneliness with connection. And that brings us to the most powerful lesson from all of Dr. Jensen's years of wisdom. Longevity, a truly long and vibrant life, is not about adding 100 new, complicated things to your to-do list. It's not about expensive programs or difficult routines. It's about the profound freedom and health that come from simply removing what is harming you. Your body has an incredible, innate intelligence. It already knows how to heal. It wants to be healthy. Our only job is to get out of its way. As we wrap up, we've explored 5 critical habits that can truly transform our golden years. But knowledge is only powerful when we put it into action. So now, I have one important question for you. What is the one commitment you are making to yourself after watching this video? It could be as simple as, I will have eggs for breakfast tomorrow, or I will drink a glass of water right now. Maybe it's, I will call my friend this afternoon. Please share your personal commitment in the comments below. It doesn't have to be a big one, just one small promise. Reading your commitments will inspire others in our community to take that first, crucial step. And if you found real value and comfort in our time together today, and you believe in this message, please show your support by giving this video a gentle press on the like button. It truly helps. To ensure you continue on this journey with us, and never miss another video full of life-changing wisdom, hit that subscribe button. It's more than just subscribing. It's joining a community. A community of friends, all dedicated to living our best lives together. Finally, think of one person in your life right now who needs to hear this message. Maybe a spouse, a sibling, or a dear friend. Please, share this video with them. You never know. You might just change their life. Thank you so much for watching. Stay healthy, stay wise, and I'll see you in the next video.